To set up some basic contact forms for your site, you can use the Contact Form 7 plugin, which is free, and it's a very basic and straightforward plugin to use. A lot of the themes that are coming out now are coming out with this contact form plugin as their main contact form go-to, just because it's free. It's easily editable. You can design, you can change the CSS with it just very easily, and it's very intuitive plugin for contact forms. And they also have a lot of add-ons that you can add to it, which are also free. So that's why a lot of themes are really going towards this Contact Form 7, but it's not as robust, and it's not as strong as the Gravity Form plugin, which is another common contact form plugin. So for the Contact Form 7, to go to this, over on the left hand side, once you have this installed on your site, you just go to where it says Contact, and you just click on that, and it'll bring up a list of any previous contact forms you created, or you can click Add New and create a new one. So let's do that. We'll add a new one, and it might ask if you want to use the default language. It might not ask you it. Sometimes it does. We'll do Add New. We'll do it in English, and then it'll bring up a basic form where it's name, email, subject, and message, which are pretty basic contact form setup. And let's add a title to our contact form. This doesn't necessarily mean it will show on your site. You can decide if the contact form title will show along with all the different fields. So let's just give it a name. Let's just put Contact Us Form. And then down below, this is where we can make any changes we want to it. So if we want something basic, we could just use this. But if we want something more complex, like let's say we want to add a phone number, so this would be the TEL, the tel, for telephone, and we want to put that below email. So what we could do is leave a little space, hit tel, and then this is where we fill out different stuff. So if we want this to be required, we'll click that. And the name, this is something you don't need to change. It's just kind of like a, well, I'll show you later on where you add this to like the notification that you get to your email. And default value, we could change that. We could put something default so that people know how to fill it out. Like if we put, if this was like an email field and we put default value, we could put like email@email.com so that people know, this is how you need to fill out your email. But we can leave this empty for now. So we'll put insert tag now that we have this, and what it does, it just puts a basic shortcode in there, and you'll see for the different areas there is some custom coding, and what that will do is these are called field labels, and the shortcode actually just generates where the person will type in their information, and then above here the label is what people will see. It'll say your name, and then it'll show the field that they fill in. So we want to add that stuff in there. So what we can do is we can just take one of these, copy it, and we want to put that right above our shortcode, and then we want to change the information so it's your name. We can put your phone, and then since this is a required field, it's got the little asterisk next to it, we can put required, or we can put a little asterisk right next to it just to show that it is required. So let's just put required for now, and we got our break code. Without the break code, if we had, let's say we put the short code next to here, that would then, when we see the form out on the main site, that would show the label, and then right next to it would be the field that people type in, and we don't want that. We want the field to be after the label, so we want to put in what is called a break tag or break code right after that, and we want our shortcode to be on the next line. And then you'll see that it's got this little P tag, and that's called a paragraph tag. And this is the opening tag, and then we want the closing tag, and you'll see it's in the other one. So like it really helps that they set it up like a default setup for you so that you kind of see how it works. And then we want to put that ending tag right there. So now we have our name, email, and then we're asking for their phone, and then the subject, message, and this is where the send button will be. So now we have those. And we can add any further information to this. Like we can add a file where a person can upload a file. Like let's say we're making a form for people to submit their resume. So we could even put this file and then say we want them to submit a file. We could also have maybe any checkboxes, like let's say we are selling certain services and we want to know if the person's interested in our graphic design, our marketing, our web design, just all this stuff. So we could put like a checkbox area asking if what information are you interested in, and then they can check off what they want, and then that will submit along with the notification mail. So let's go to that now. These are the different form fields that you can use. A really helpful one is this reCAPTCHA, and once that's set up, people will be required to click a little button, and this just really prevents a lot of spam being sent to your email, because if you just have some basic stuff set up, there are a lot of, they're called bots, and they're able to automatically put in information into the fields and click the send button without any person having to do it. Like it's so automatic and it's very spammy, and you can get a lot of spam messages. So that's what this reCAPTCHA is. It makes it so that the person has to put in either a code, or they can click this little box that says that they're a real person submitting this. So that's another option for that. So let's go to this mail tag, and this is where you would put in any your email. So let's say you want it to your admin email. So we put that in. So there's your email that you want this message being sent to, and this is where it'll say where it's from. You could put anything you want there. You could put what this says is from your name, and what that is, you'll go back to here and it says your name. So what it'll say is it'll say the person's name that they fill in the field, and then we can then put, so let's say here's their email. We could put this right here, your email. So then when someone puts in their email, it'll then say that it's from the name of the person and the email of the person. And then in the subject line, we could put something default. We could say contact form submission from website. So then every notification you get will say that in the subject line. Or we can say, since we do ask them for a subject field, we could put in the subject just like they had it. So your subject. So then whatever the person puts in to the subject, the your subject field, it'll then show up in the subject. And then additional headers and message body. And the message body is where we can fill in any additional information. So you'll notice that we added the phone field, and right now there's nothing in the email notification asking for the phone number. So here's the message body, and what we could do is we could add a little section that says phone number, and then this is where we would put this phone number shortcode. And we don't actually need this beginning part. So right there. So then once we have that in, whatever phone number the person puts in when they submit the form, then it will get put right here into the email notification. And that can go with any other form. So if we, along with the phone number, let's say we want to add, we have our checkboxes. In options, we can put, option 1, option 2, option 3. And then that'll put the different options out on the form that people can choose. Let's insert that tag. And then what we need to put in is we want to know what options they choose. So all we need is this checkbox code. Put that in our mail. Option. Let's put our little brackets right there. And so now whatever options those people choose will get put into the email notification form right there where their shortcode is. And that goes with any other of these. If we want to add a date, we want to add just a plain number. We can say how old are you, and they put in a number. We can then put that shortcode right into our form notification that goes right to our email, and then it'll say whatever that person puts in that field. And that goes with any of the others. So now once that's done, we can also add another notification if we want to add another mail. So let's say we have a person that gets the email notifications and we want another one sent somewhere else. We would just use this mail to, and then now we have another one that will receive the form notification once someone submits it. And any of these is just kind of default. You don't really need to mess with any of these. You could actually change it up if you want. So like let's say the sender's message was sent successfully, and this is what the person will see once they send a form notification. They can change this and say, thank you very much. We appreciate your feedback. Anything like that. And then that is what the message that the person will receive. And then you can kind of read along here about the different messages that they might get. So like if it was failed, then they'll get this message, failed to send your message, please try later or contact the administrator. So those can be changed. The additional settings is some custom coding that goes along with this plugin. This is it goes with how very editable this plugin is. So on the Contact Form 7 website where you can download the plugin and you can kind of read about it, they include a lot of additional settings that you can add to your site to kind of make it a lot better. So there, like one instance is we had something where we wanted to, once someone submits the form, and we wanted them to go to like a thank you page. Well, there was a custom code that we can put in here that allowed us to redirect the person after they submitted the form. Then the person was redirected to the thank you page, and we could track, how many people landed on the thank you page. So that's kind of just an example of additional settings. It's just some extra coding. So that is the basics of setting up a new form. Once you're done, just hit save. And then once you save the form, it'll then give you a shortcode. The shortcode is, the thing in the brackets here. And wherever you want this form to be, just copy this. You can just click right in there and it selects the whole thing. Copy that, and then you can paste this shortcode into any page, into any widget, anywhere you want that form to show. You can paste that shortcode in there, and then that form will show.